Rep. When I grow up, I would like to have muscles like you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have one question for you, former DP. You've talked about 2027 being an important election for the whole of Kenya, just based off everything that's happening, the crisis and all. But then you've mentioned a lineup of people who, in one way or another, have failed the country. You've mentioned Kalonzo, Wamalwa, Martha Karua, and all the other people who are running. But in one way or another, each of them have had backroom deals in the past to more or less further their own agendas. So as the young adults who are thinking at 2027, we don't want a repeat and a recycling of the same tyrants who've been up and up again. What do you tell us if you yourself have said you were the one who gave Ruto the votes to win back then, right? You're the one who gave him Mount Kenya. So why should we as the young adults getting into 2027 trust you to lead us again to another election when you say, what's the word for it? The lineup of 2027 will not be announced until the end, so it's not affected by Ruto. Why should we then, close to the election in 2027, trust your judgment when back then it's given us Ruto right now? So why should we trust you in 2027 when we are where we are right now?
That's a good question. I have said about the people who have declared, the field is open. We are waiting for people to come up, including the young people. Unfortunately, the few who had come up initially were compromised by Kasongo. So you have seen them. Those young ones. One is with Raila, the other one is with Kasongo. So as we go on, the people of Kenya will choose among those who come up. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with the new blood. But the new blood must offer themselves for leadership. You know, the young people are saying, we want young blood. I'm asking the young people, let them come up and come and sell themselves to the people of Kenya. Number two, why should you trust me? It's true, I made an error judgment. In my community, they say, making a mistake is not bad. What is unacceptable is repeating the same mistake. I had the choice to stay with Ruto and oppress Kenyans, and I decided not to. I gave up a job, a good job, very lucrative, with privileges, to stand with the people of Kenya. If I was a selfish person, if I was like Ruto, I would have just agreed to what he wanted. We just hung together, we killed children, or with Raila, you give him some little money, he hangs around. And why the young people trust me? When they needed somebody to stand with them, at their lowest, when they were being killed and called criminals and being butchered, I, as deputy president, stood with them and said, this is unacceptable. I cannot accept it, Mr. President. And I was the deputy president. And Ruto could not believe it, that I could tell him off when I'm in office. That's why the Gen Zs back home, they love me because I'm a very principled leader. And I am tested that when it mattered most, I made a decision that to some people looked very foolish and very dangerous, but to many people looked very courageous. It cost me a job, but I still think it was the right decision. Given another opportunity, I will still make the same decision. And the people of Kenya will make a decision whether they can trust me or not, and they will judge me depending on how I have acted before, where I needed to make a decision between standing with the truth and standing with comfort. So, tutaendelea. And why we are saying we have to wait is that we need one candidate to face this man. With his state resources and what he controls, if we name a candidate now, atamsumbua sana. Sana. So we have to be strategic because we are not just dealing with just any ordinary Kenyan. So it's just a question of strategy. As for now, our candidate is Ruto must go. Our plan is one term. Okay? It must remain that way for quite some bit of time. And he's very unhappy with it. He's very unhappy with it. Anataka tuseme ni rigiji. Ndio aseme hii mtu ni mukabila. Nini atufungulie makesi nini what atusumbue to make sure that we cannot even campaign. So acha akae namna hiyo. Candidate, his opponent for now is Ruto must go, and the plan for the opposition is one term. Akae na hiyo kwanza.
Okay. So thank you for coming and visiting. My questions are two. The first one is related to development and property acquisition. So we know today it takes so long to go through that process. I mean, it could be years. In my family, we have two cases. One is 17 years, the succession issue. Another one is 6 years waiting to have some subdivision and all that. So when you look at those kinds of things, they discourage people from acquiring property.
Yes, true.
Discourage us from sending more money back to buy things back home. And in contrast with the US, you have places where this process takes like 30 days. And you might not even need to meet the person selling the property. Everything goes so smoothly, and within 30 days, everything is done. And I keep wondering, why can't we do that in Kenya as well? Because we will get the funds sent back to Kenya quicker because we are able to build more stuff there. The government will get its tax, its stamp duty quick, and maybe foreign investors will also be encouraged to send money back, to invest in Kenya. So I think that is something within the government's power to accelerate so that we can make it easier for people to complete property transactions.
Yes.
And second, last one is, it seems like we are coaching Kenyans to have a bad relationship with tax. And really it's the only way we can provide government services. So I'm not sure what would be your approach to raising government funds without necessarily antagonizing people with tax, because I feel like they're getting to a point where they will feel that they really don't need to pay tax, and tax is a bad thing. Thank you.
Thank you. On the issue of property acquisition and delays and bureaucracy and red tape, it is true. It's something that we need to do as an administration, together with the National Assembly and the Senate, to really review our land laws. The Lands Act and the property acquisition procedures, to make them friendly, to make them easy. Most of these laws were crafted during the colonial period. A few amendments have taken place, but not sufficiently radical to make it easy for people to acquire property, to charge, and to transact. It's something that myself, I have really thought about, and it's something that we will need also your input and others, and check what happens in other jurisdictions so that we can borrow from the world best practices. How do we make it easy for people to acquire property without compromising on safety and due diligence and care, so that we avoid fraud? So that is something that we'll commit. On the issue of taxation, nobody has a problem with the taxation. People have a problem with their taxes being misappropriated and stolen and being misapplied. No Kenyan has a problem. Mwai Kibaki, the celebrated third president of the Republic of Kenya, raised revenue from 200 billion to 1 trillion. And there was no outcry in the country because people could see the taxes were being used properly. You know? Mwai Kibaki was very clear about taxation. Alisema kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. But he used the money to educate our children free. He used the money to put up Thika superhighway. He used the money to bring about M-Pesa. He used the money to do rural electrification. No Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes. What Kenyans want, one, is No taxation without representation. Let it be discussed properly. Number two, when the taxes are raised and collected, people want return on investment. They want to see their taxes are bettering their lives. And that is what we want to commit to do. Taxes we will collect. But we will collect the taxes that are reasonable so that you also don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. You don't overtax people, because you can overtax people, then they are unable to work. You tax reasonably and then apply those taxes appropriately in a transparent manner that is verifiable. People pay taxes and then they see a road has come up. They pay taxes, they see they are enjoying electricity. They pay taxes, they go to hospital, they find there is medicine. Nobody has a problem with paying taxes. Two more questions now.
Thank you so much. This is just to the diaspora. We've begun the process of going to Congress. President Ruto has defiled the Leahy Act here by using the military last year. So that kind of gives us grounds, but we are trying. So if you're here and you have expertise and can guide us and help us, or even know someone in a